Hello. It's very late. Hi, I'm Tanga, and this is video 24 coming to you all the way from Australia, Brisbane, Australia. And it is late here today. It's 10:15 at night on Thursday night, which is my Friday actually from my part-time job. So I am up later than I normally am. Went out and did a little bit of shopping because I mentioned yesterday in yesterday's video that I've stretched or strained my Achilles through all the walking that I've been doing. But what that's taught me is I'm a little bit tight when it comes to upgrading clothes and runners and things like that. And the pair of runners that I was using was probably a good 12 months old. But I figure, man, for the amount of money we pay for runners and that, they really don't get us a lot of mileage anymore, do they? Like, I'm thinking I should at least get a couple of years, but I'm told that every 6 to 12 months we should be replacing our runners. So I've caved in because I had to and spent a little dough upgrading my runners. So my feet are feeling a little bit better, but I do have to rest a little bit and take some pressure off that while my ankle heals. So that was a late evening. That sort of adds a couple of hours onto our evening, and my eyes are all red, so I'm feeling a little bit tired. But today, I did want to talk about and share today, this morning, before I went into work, my normal part-time job. I joined a live collective, it's called a community coaching session with two of some amazing coaches, two of the best coaches I've had anything to do with. The brothers, Guy and Ilan Ferdinand. Can't even pronounce it. And they're just so amazing. They're coaching without the fluff. They just go straight to it. There's no such, and how did you feel about this? And what if they just go, mate, this is what's happening to you. And they really help you understand what's really going on for each of us. And so the reason I wanted to share it was because I had a massive breakthrough in that session. So when we go into these sessions, everyone's posted up questions that they would like to have addressed. And the interesting thing is, I'm so sorry, this messenger is going totally bonkers. I'm just going to, there we go. Hopefully that turns it off. Put it on flight mode. And so, we're going into this coaching session and everyone's put up a whole list of questions they'd like answered, in order to address some blocks. And so what they were saying is, and it really, I could see it unfolding, they would choose one particular question, but it covered so many of us because a lot of our versions of the blocks that we're having were actually very similar themes. And one of the community members posted the question that, just to put it in context, she said, I'm a certified counsellor, I'm a certified yoga instructor, certified Tai Chi instructor. I really just need to understand what else I need to complete, what other certifications I need to complete in order for me to start a business so I can start helping people feel better about themselves. Hey, Rob, how are you doing? You're a late one too. Hope you're well. So anyway, this community member was asking the question, I've got all these certifications. What certification do you think I need in order to be able to start a new business? Because I don't feel equipped enough to do that. And so the two brothers, the two coaches, sort of paused and had a bit of a giggle about it. And Ilan actually put it pretty straight, pretty blunt. He said, Okay, let me answer it this way. And I won't use her name, but let's say her name was Kate. Kate, you've got, I'll run through all the certifications that you have, and you still don't feel like you're ready to start a business. That means Kate thinks Kate's dumb. I'll say it again. Kate thinks Kate is dumb. And I sat there, I was watching this whole thing unfold, and I thought, I get what she's saying, because that's me. I could see me doing the same thing without really thinking about it until now. I felt like the spotlight was on that. Going from one certification to another, feeling like still had this huge imposter syndrome in my head going off. And what they talked about is that the whole pattern of going through different certifications was actually a form of avoidance. And it's this fear that she had of not being accepted, or not being, this imposter syndrome going on in her mind, that if she was to show up and present herself as she is now, people would see her as a fraud, right? And that was her feeling. And so what they were explaining is this real need to actually sit back and go deep and unpack where that's coming from. What was it about Kate as a little child that she felt like she had to get this validation all the time? And I could see myself in that whole coaching session unfolding. And in actual fact, when I looked at my question was very similar. I had this whole thing when I am talking to someone who I perceive as an authority figure, when I'm facing them, even though I feel like I respect them in that, when I'm actually coming face to face with them, I can't talk. I just like my head, my mind just goes off, like fluffy, all of this intended stuff that I wanted to talk about. I just feel like I'm in the company of people that I don't deserve to be. And so there was that sense of feeling unworthy. And so I think, in this type of environment, when we're trying to improve ourselves and become better at what we're doing, this whole environment of being in this community coaching session, it was so empowering. Now, that was this morning about 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock, because they were in the States, so this is all live. So I've gone through this session. I've had this mental breakthrough. Today, I was actually running a workshop for some community members on financial literacy. Now, often when I'm doing workshops, I'm really confident running them, but I'm also conscious of a voice that goes on in my head. Why would they believe you? What the hell are you talking about? Who the hell are you to be talking to them? I get this is in the back of my mind as I'm trying to come across really confident. And today, I had none of that. I had absolutely none of that voice. I felt confident. I felt like I had something to offer them in a way that I knew that they would benefit from that information that I was sharing with them. And that was a 5-hour workshop. So, I think this whole benefit in being able to turn that mirror on the inside and unpack stuff that we don't even realize is happening, and that's forming decisions that we're making without us even realizing it. So it was a great breakthrough, and I would encourage anyone, Rob, if you're ever thinking about doing some mind work and working with coaches and trying to improve the way that your perspective of things, I would strongly encourage you to look at a platform similar to that. I'm happy to message you the details of this particular, couple of brothers that are renowned for being able to hit some breakthroughs. And there was an analogy they used. They said it's a little bit like Johnny the fat boy who's gone skinny, but when he looks in the mirror, all he still sees is Johnny the fat boy, even though he is slim. his mind is still seeing what he was before he lost all that weight. And I think we can all really relate to that in one example or another. And that is mind work. That's us going deep and unpacking that in a safe, non-judgmental way, and healing. Because the actions and the decisions that we're making around that to protect ourselves from that hurt comes through in a lot of this avoidance, the avoidance patterns, the stuff that we're doing to actually avoid the pain of feeling that again. So I know it's a bit heavy at 10:25. You can see why it's been just swimming around in my mind, but such a big breakthrough as well. So that's me for tonight. I hope you're well, Rob. Thanks for joining me here. Anyone else that's tuning in after the live, hashtag replay and just drop a line as to where you're tuning in from. But I wish you good night, good morning if you're on the other side of the world. I can hear you're all tuning in here and lots of messages going off, so I've just had to put it to sleep. And I will go for another day. Tomorrow's hashtag 25. All right. Good night. Mwah. Love you. Bye-bye.